ओके व्हाट इज द पीपल, क्या हाल है। तो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू प्ले बहुत ही absurd गेम। अब मैंने इस गेम के बारे में ज़्यादा पढ़ा नहीं है कॉज मैं रेडिट सर्च कर रहा था और रेडिट पे ये लिखा हुआ था कि डू नॉट लुक इनटू दिस गेम। इस गेम के बारे में कुछ मत देखना, इसका ट्रेलर मत देखना। दिस इज़ अ स्मॉल इंडी गेम एंड इट इज़ अ एक्सट्रीमली वियर्ड गेम। तो अब देखते हैं यानी व्हाट दिस गेम हैज़ टू ऑफर। द गेम इज कॉल्ड स्टैनली पार्बल। Stanley Parable. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, click.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly his job.
अगर पेड करे जा रहे हो अच्छे सा,
was happy.
Why not?
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained
nice
his
tutorial,
senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
LOL आ गया भाई, आ गया। बोल क्या करूं?
All of his co-workers were gone.
हाँ?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Memo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
ठीक है। हाँ। अब ये भी बंद हो जाएगा।
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Shit.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
बॉस का ऑफिस ना, बॉस
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
ये योगा भाई बिल्कुल भाई साहब क्या ऑफिस है।
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
What the?
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Obviously,
This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Let's see.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Let's go. Okay, wait, I died. I did not die.
As the machine whirred into
हम मरे नहीं
motion
हैं.
and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow
नहीं
life.
नहीं नहीं, I'm good.
Farewell,
Well,
Stanley.
shit.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the
That's not-
narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
We alive. Let's go. Oh, we are not alive. Shit.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
बकचोदी नहीं करनी चाहिए थी यार.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
अब ले लेता हूँ यार, अब बकचोदी नहीं करता.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
That's fun.
Yet there was not a single person here either. 2845. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
ठीक है.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley
Damn.
thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Absolutely not.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. The heart of the operation, controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
क्या करूं?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Let's go.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
दरवाजा तो खोल.
As sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Obviously.
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
Beautiful.
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Technically अभी भी हम mind control हो रहे हैं.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
ये क्या था बैंक?
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
नहीं लूँगा.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
This is
I'm
fun.
not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Really?
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
But yes, if we
Not
make
asking for me,
सारे डिसीजन जो ये बोल रहा है तो वी आर बीइंग माइंड कंट्रोल
this
मेरी
is
ऐसी
it,
तैसी
Stanley. Your chance
कुछ नहीं
to
करूंगा मैं जो ये
redeem
बोलेगा
yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
कौन
She's been waiting.
ओके
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
तूने पिकअप द फोन कर दिया मैं नहीं करूंगा अब
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited.
मैंने फोन नहीं उठाया by the way
Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible.
Lol.
Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation?
Nope.
Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
ओए
Please
game
observe
नहीं
this
game बंद नहीं
helpful
करना
instructional video.
गेम नहीं बंद करना गेम में बोलूँ के पट्टे
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic.
अच्छा
If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
My goodness is it 4:30 I'm
Excellent.
supposed to have back sack
Making
and crack
choices on a regular basis is the
fuck?
best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day.
अच्छा
Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling
Nice.
should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this
मैं नहीं
video.
करने वाला
Ah, welcome back.
ओ, ये क्या हो
You may
गया
have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago.
Let's go.
Right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
left
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what?
What
What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless.
Stupid.
And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to.
No,
I have to shut the game down. I have to.
For fuck's sake,
I
man.
have to.
फिर से करना पड़ेगा. भाग भाई भाग 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 भाग. Nope. Fuck.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Please behave exactly as Stanley would.
Waste के loop.
Choosing responsibly.
मैं बार-बार
always
करूँगा.
putting the
बार-बार
story
वही
first.
करूँगा मैं.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. On his left.
Let's go.
No! He entered the door on his left.
360. कहाँ गया? अच्छा. No. Why did you do that?
I realize
Fuck
that
you, man.
investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
Yes,
but
man.
The fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting. What? Really?
Really?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you. To show
Danger
you
everywhere.
something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Let's do the red door now. No.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
थोड़ी
Do you see that I really
Time
have
चलता.
wanted you to be happy all this time?
Not really.
The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
अरे यार फंस गया.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution.
Okay.
Here, let me show you. What do we want?
What do we
What are
want?
we looking for? Here. Yes.
Wise
it's
up.
beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
ऐसा है क्या?
I actually... No, wait. Where are you going?
LOL.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Dumbass. कोई नहीं मरने वाला भाई, कोई नहीं
Please,
मरने
no,
वाला.
Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
ठीक है, नहीं करते.
Is it over?
Yep.
It's going to restart, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm going back.
That was a waste of time. That was depressing. But you know what isn't depressing? Subscribing to this channel. But jokes aside, subscribing to this channel is not guys, subscribe, like, comment, जो करना है करो. And if you want कि मैं और चीज़ें करूँ या और इस गेम को थोड़ा और एक्सप्लोर करूँ, तो प्लीज़ comment and tell me that you want me to play this crazy game, And that is all for the video. Thank you very much.